now the interesting part.
Not so much, you know, just
Xander is going to see how they get their log splitter out.
Well, we're gonna tie it to your belt loop and hang some Instagram followers in front of you.
This is a homeschool lippy kind of. Okay, go ahead,
When you
homeschool.
try to do a comeback, but you're homeschooled, so it takes 20 minutes longer than it should, and it's not even a comeback anymore. It's just a run-on sentence.
All right, if you guys have been following along, you know this kinetic log splitter is insanely fast, but is it actually that much faster than a good old-fashioned high-quality hydraulic log splitter? We're gonna find out today by putting them head-to-head. Plus, then we're gonna also talk about the build quality between this kinetic log splitter and my brand new Toro log splitter and show you how, well, that actually makes a big difference in the overall longevity of what you're gonna buy. So, hopefully this video helps you out, but let's just quit talking and let's start doing. Said something, Xander, that I thought was pretty relevant. Elliot's is easier to maneuver around a job site because it's a lot lighter of a unit.
It's lighter, although I will say my major complaint with it.
Wobbly.
No, well, not really. My major complaint was the jacket stand itself. It's just, I don't know, it's just awkward. You gotta lift it up and then you push it back, and because it's too high to like set it on a ball and then take the jack stand out.
Okay.
Whereas with that, you can crank it up, throw it on your ball or whatever, and then just crank it down.
Okay, so you have no front jack, period.
Right.
On that. Did you catch that, Xander?
Yep.
And so with mine, you just crank this right up. Okay, but there's a reason why mine is so much heavier. Now here's one of the things, Frankie, you want to come in here because I want to get your opinion on this. Now Elliot says he's got 34 tons of force. And ours says we've got 22 tons of force.
Not force, pressure. He's got force. That's why it's a ram.
Okay.
I've got force, you have pressure. See, and that's where yours is gonna win, because you can just power through it.
Yeah.
But let's see how it handles actual big wood.
But here's the reality though. Out in the field, faster isn't necessarily, for productivity it's great, but if you can't split what you have to split, then you're actually slower.
And if you need two guys to do it.
Right.
So Frankie's gonna take both of you guys on at the same time.
Is he?
Yep. So Frankie's gonna go against you with the slow log splitter. You guys get speedy, but you guys can't crank yours up. So you guys have to, Frankie, you starting with that big dog right there?
Yep.
Okay, so Frankie's gonna start with that one. I'd say the equivalent to that big dog.
It's right here, like the same one.
Yeah.
That's the same log.
Yep.
That is actually, it's literally cut off from the same part of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, go!
Places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
So at first we did 1v1, and the kinetic log splitter, the two boys with the kinetic log splitter beat Frankie by himself by about 20% or so. So then I hopped into the mix and we did 2v2, and even with Frankie and I both running the hydraulic log splitter, the results were about the same. The biggest difference that we seen was that the hydraulic log splitter could handle anything that we threw at it. The kinetic log splitter would get stuck and simply refuse to operate on some logs, and in fact, if you look back at the video, you can see where the the kinetic log splitter would get jacked up and they'd have to actually go in and stick their little nose pickers into it and pull it back, which is actually pretty dangerous. So the next, well, here's something else I want to add in. To me, speed when you're splitting logs really isn't a factor. I'll be quite honest with you, if you can do 20% more in a day, that's not a big deal, especially if you can't do a whole bunch of logs that you would like to be able to split. More importantly than anything is quality. And so in this next section, we're going to focus on the quality of the log splitters and compare and contrast them. And we're also going to show you a few tips and tricks, techniques that we've developed when we're splitting wood to get the best results, whether you're handling massive logs or whether you're just handling regular corded wood. There's a few things that we do that we're just going to share with you. So let's dive into it. I don't know about that.
I mean, I just had this at idle this morning, and just going through.
Going through everything.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some of the basic components. Couple of the things that let's go through them from top to bottom. When you guys are looking at getting, I'm gonna come in close. When you guys are looking at getting a wood splitter, we're gonna actually look at everything from mobility to the strength of the I-beam, to the balance of the machine, to the motor and the basic components today, so that as you're doing your research, you at least have something to kind of go by. So we're gonna be comparing and contrasting the fastest log splitter on the market, and I'm gonna hazard a guess that the Powerking is literally the fastest log splitter that's ever been made, to probably what I at least consider to be one of the best log splitters on the market, and that's this commercial unit by Toro. This is basically a grade or two above what the typical homeowner would purchase, because this machine is made to go out day after day after day after day. Everything about this unit is heavy duty. It's made for the rental market, which brings us to another point. If you guys have the opportunity to purchase something that is designed specifically for the rental market, you've got to realize that the engineers are putting thought into, when the rental fleet buys this, they don't want it back for piddly repair work. They want to be able to put it out, do some basic maintenance, and put it out on the field. So we're gonna put them side by each and walk you through some of the differences we see. All right, guys, if you process a lot of firewood, there's something that I want to show you real quick, because this thing is phenomenal. It's called the Log Ox, and it lets you, it's a log jack, but it also has a carry handle, which means you don't have to bend over to get your logs. This thing, you can just literally reach down, grab a log, pick it up, carry it, and release it without ever bending over. I'm going to put a link to this thing down below. like a handle for a log.
Long handle.
That's the log ox.
Yep. Guys, put the belt on one next time too.
Yeah, they got that belt.
Carry it.
Yep, that's pretty slick. I flipping love this thing. So look in the description for the link to this thing, because swear to goodness, this thing will save your guys' back. You're welcome. The very first thing that I see, well, you guys see this too, the front wheel, okay? So for getting this around, yeah, this unit's gonna be heavier duty, but you actually also have a wheel. So if we had a muddy site or we had rough terrain, Elliot picking this up,
That one's easy to pick up.
even though it's easy to pick up, if you're trying to wrestle this through the mud, you're gonna have one hell of a time because you've got to pick it up. Where I don't have to pick it up.
Pull on this.
And with plus,
Pull on here.
yeah, we've got dedicated handles right here that we can pull this around, but we've also, come in here real close, Xander. We've also got two wheels. That's important. So you guys can see that those two wheels give me better ability. So a lot of them are gonna have a single wheel and that's gonna get stuck. This just distributes the weight just a little bit better. Now, Frankie, is there anything else you wanna point out real quick?
The tilt.
All right, so let's show them the tilt function. Xander, you're gonna probably wanna come in this way. Now a lot of units are gonna tilt. Does yours tilt up, Elliot?
That's good.
Trying to fit in, guys.
I don't think that helps in any way.
All right.
Now you have to employ a guy to hold it.
Yeah, Xander, come here.
All right.
I'm the camera guy.
Just a lot of different ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just one.
But I want to show these guys the actual tilt function.
Decent balance.
Decent.
So now, does that have locks for the wheels? Not that mine does. I'm just asking.
this is over. Once you make that first ram, you pretty much stay.
So this is one of the things what Frankie said, decent balance, right?
Yep.
I think it's got a little bit better than decent balance. It doesn't take a whole lot.
And there's a lot of weight there.
That's a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of weight. Moving up.
So now that's, I mean, so
now you can split vertically. So that way when you got a really massive log,
Yeah, any of these. Big
so you don't have to pick it up
right.
And heave it onto the.
and heave it onto the actual thing. You can actually just roll it right into place.
Yep.
And split the wood and get it down to manageable size. All right, we're gonna show you how to take a really big log and make it into firewood. We don't split it down the middle, we split it off, small pieces. We also don't go all the way back into the housing. We'll crack open a couple big ones. We'll let the boys try to crack open a couple big ones with theirs, because you know what? You don't always have small wood. Sometimes you've got big wood.
One of the. Yeah, sometimes.
That's what she said.
One of the things.
Not to you, Stan.
Ooh, cameraman too. Lippy.
I think it's something about my presence. He's just trying to show me up.
I'm trying to do better comebacks than you, bud.
Let's also talk about.
But okay,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, there's something just right here that I don't like about mine, that every other log splitter I've ever seen has, and yours is a perfect example of, I don't like that my ram is on the back versus on the front, where you, and here's my reason for it. So I'm splitting wood, right?
Yep.
Now I've got to move all of my split wood before I can pick this up and leave. You can split a whole pile, hook up, and leave, because your hitch is behind.
He makes a really good point, guys. That's why I wanted Elliot here, because he's got experience running that log splitter. You got truck hooked up, you split your wood, it flops off the back, you drive away. His wood actually will fall in front of his tires instead of behind his tires. So
Right.
if you look right here,
And you can't back up because your pile, so your truck's gonna hit it.
yeah, so all of your wood, if you're not throwing it off to the side where mine, you just throw it
You
behind
almost
you.
literally have to have either it takes longer, you have to have a second guy moving your wood as you split it.
Technically, typically would have two guys splitting wood for the most part
Right.
anyway, because it's just that much faster and more efficient.
This is a Frankie favorite move. He likes to split them into fours. We'll show you how he does it. What are them? Yeah, wasp. All right, one more.
Let's but I want to make sure that we address the major components such
Yours is
as
street legal.
the axles.
Yep, yours is street legal.
So yes, so actually if we come back here, you noticed that even though he's got a trailer hitch on his log splitter, he can't drive this down the road. He's got off-road tires on it, so when you're looking at buying one, if you look at it and go, oh, it's got tires, I can move it around, you can't hook it up behind something and tow it. This one you actually can, and it's actually got
Got tail lights.
it's got the complete system.
Got fenders.
It's got the complete hookup. It's got everything that you need to be able to actually drive this down the road.
This is pretty crucial because this is going to help support your
Yeah.
log.
Plus it's at an angle.
So right,
It's always gonna roll your log in.
it's always going to roll your leg in. And watch, I mean, I can't move that, right?
Yeah.
See, not only is the whole splitter wobbling, but the plate that's holding my log
Is wobbly
is
too.
flexing.
Here's something that you really need to take a double peek at. You can see how heavy duty these are, but one of the things that you can also see already on this log splitter is with this oil filter down here, it's already getting beat up. Because this is where logs do the floppy crappy. Right there. Right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, not typically
Most
they're
of the
not.
time they're on this side, but
They're not
because you're
supposed to,
standing
but
on
you
this
can
side.
see where this has already been hit, damaged, dented. So I'd like to see that moved up and away from the work zone more. I mean, I just think that this whole setup,
Or put a cage around it somehow.
put a cage, oh, all right, put a cage around it or move it forward.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird spot. Like if you were going through woods or something with it,
That's a bad spot,
it
period.
could get knocked
Hang
off.
down past the axle.
No, it doesn't hang below the axle, but it hangs right where you're going to be dragging it or bumping it. And it's worst part is, so as Xander, you mentioned it, as you're towing this through the woods, right? And if you're towing it off road,
Mm-hmm.
this filter is going to hit before the tires hit. So instead of the tire
Lifting you over.
lifting up and over, you're going to crack into this, and then the tire will hit something and roll up and over.
And then once you get to your job site, it's going to not work.
You're gonna have to go get a filter.
yeah, you're going to need a filter, a line.
And
Worse
if you
yet,
don't
you're gonna
bust
need,
off
you're gonna
fitting.
need fittings. Yeah, you're gonna need fittings.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see how these perform on some major logs.
so here's my take from watching you guys use yours and from using this one. Overall, large and small, yours is probably more efficient because no matter what size log you throw on there, you're gonna get through it right away. Okay? Now, I haven't actually found, out of the wood we were splitting today, I haven't found a log that this won't split.
Yeah.
But sometimes I gotta hit it 2, 3, 4 times.
Right.
So the speed, as long as you can get through that log, you know, once or twice, hitting it once or twice, you're faster than that.
Yeah.
But if your wood's wet or you got some Y's or knots, you'll get through it, but not as fast as that. So, you know, I don't know.
I mean, that's a good unit.
It's a great unit.
That's a good. Yeah, it's a.
And
If I was
I
going
don't
to pair
know.
up with somebody, I would go this way. If I was working by myself, I'd go that way. Just because I work by myself, I don't cut nothing. All my firewood's about this big and smaller.
Okay,
what I
sure.
cut down.
Okay.
I don't go with the big stuff. I just don't, because
So-
it's just too much for me to do it by myself.
So I think homeowner, great unit. Industrial, you know, commercial
yeah, if you're
setting.
going to sell firewood or you do a lot of firewood. Like I
Or
used
you know
to.
you're a rental
is the one
company
you
or
need.
a tree company that splits your wood.
This is the one you
This
need.
is probably what you or
Homeowner,
maybe
great, yeah.
or maybe you want both.
I could see a use for both.
Yeah.
I could see a use for both too. Like on my property personally, 99% of the time this will be great.
Yeah.
But then when I've got that big storm that comes through and that big tree that comes down across the driveway, I'm gonna want that one.
So this is kind of more universal. It gives you more options.
You can do everything with
You
that.
can do everything with this one.
Yeah.
I guess
And with
that's
this one
the-
being bigger, it is a little more clumsier. Built,
It is.
Being built.
I mean,
you know.
Yeah.
I
It
would
is.
almost prefer, personally, I would almost prefer a smaller version of those.
Of this.
You can
Of
get
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can.
They
Yeah,
make them.
No, I know you
They
can.
make them. That's but I wanted something for me. It's the 20-year plan.
And plus, you got other guys using cutting your wood sometimes, and then you're better off having a heavy duty one so they don't get beat up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Frankie, you're
well,
rough on
now
things.
the interesting
Yeah,
part.
not so much, you know, just having other
Xander
guys
is going to
using
see how they get their log splitter out.
Well, we're gonna tie it to your belt loop and hang some Instagram followers in front of you.
This is a homeschool lippy kind of. Okay, go ahead,
When you
homeschool.
try to do a comeback, but you're homeschooled, so it takes 20 minutes longer than it should, and it's not even a comeback anymore. It's just a run-on sentence. You want to get off the machine we're trying to pull out here?
Xander, I've got some work to do. I'll be in the truck. Let me know when you're loaded.
I would grab the stiff stick and hook your chain.
You know, Elliot, this looks really good right here at this moment.
I don't
really
pay you
would.
to leave done.
You're not paying me at all.
That was funny when you're homeschooled and you try to make a comeback, but it turns into a run-on sentence 20 minutes later.
I would grab a chain.
awesome.
Go backwards, yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was good, wasn't it?
You know what the sad thing is? I know homeschoolers that would actually happen to.
Yeah.
Let's get
Actually, here's
these
another
guys.
thing I noticed about this,
What's that?
which is all the wood lands right on your hitch, which means you could, if you got a really heavy
Break or
piece
bend.
of wood, you could bend this latch.
Come
and
in
actually
here.
almost did.
Oh, you bent it.
No, we didn't. But almost.
But it could.
Oh yeah, if you're just going to town.
You want to close that before you.
Yeah, you gotta get that closed before you
Note
start.
to me. Note to the homeschooler who's not always smart. Close that.
Because you could have a big log fall on that, and that could just stop. And then you gotta get a new hitch.
Well, if you have a big log fall on it, then you didn't split it enough. But.
All right, guys, well, that's it for today. It was a long 3-part series, but I hope this helped you guys out. The Power King is still a good log splitter. The Toro is definitely a much better log splitter in terms of quality. It may not be quite as efficient as a kinetic log splitter, but it's the one that I chose to go with because it'll split anything I can throw at it. I'm going to put a link to all these down below, as well as the Log Ox, which is that log jack that I showed you earlier in this video. So if you need any information, just look in the description. Everything is there. Make sure you stick around because we got a ton of heavy equipment videos coming at you. That's all coming down the pipeline. God bless. Go get them.